Alrighty.
Cole, you were the first player since 2005, Mike Bartram, for the Eagles to score a touchdown and then for the extra point after, snap the ball. Yeah. What was weirder, being on long snapping today or being that open for the first touchdown?
Yeah, definitely not a position I envisioned playing in the NFL ever. But you got to do what you got to do. There's only so many guys you can dress on game day and only so many guys they can have on the roster. So you got to have somebody that can be the emergency. And I'm that guy reluctantly at times. But, I get my 2 or 3 snaps in on Thursday and we go to Sunday. And, it's always my biggest worry going to the game. And, hopefully Scott's doing all right and everything heals up okay. But, yeah, just glad I could go out there and just provide something for the team in that regard.
Cole, how did you wind up with that duty?
Someone found out that I did in high school. These guys know everything about you. So they found out I did in high school. My uncle did it. And I remember my dad, me and my brother would be messing around doing it in the backyard all the time. And it was just kind of like a more you can do thing. And, thinking like if you ever needed to make a team, if you're a guy that's, the 54 or 55 guy and they're deciding between 2 guys that, having that ability, they're going to keep you on the roster for those type of things. And, obviously I'm not in that position right now, but that was kind of the mindset of learning how to do it. And, I wanted to play in the NFL one day, and that was kind of the thing behind it, and paid off today, I guess. So I was glad that I could just help out where I could.
Your first touchdown today, the play design seems like something that was in Shane's book for a little while there. What did you see with the fake double screen? And then
yeah, just a great play concept. He had run it in Seattle before, and they presented a good defense for us to run that, and we had run a bunch of screens where we're flying the guy behind and pulling those backers out. So just kind of blocked my guy on the line for a second there, and Caleb gave a good fake, and then just right up the shoot and was able to break a tackle and get in the end zone.
Well, how different is the nervousness you might feel of being a long snapper versus either butterflies or anxiety before the game or before the game as a tight end?
Yeah, I think for me, I don't really get nervous anymore to go out and play. I think the first couple games of the season, just because you're a little unfamiliar from taking the big break, and you finally go back, I have a little bit of nervousness, but once you get rolling in the season, it feels like game day is like every other day. So I don't have that type of nervousness anymore. But because I'm just doing all those reps all the time, so I know what to expect. I know what I can do out there. But I mean, like I said, long snapper, I take 2 snaps a week really. So it's not like I have a ton of time on task on that like I do at tight end. But at the end of the day, that's kind of what this league is a little bit. You kind of just have to plug and play some guys. Guys are playing out of position here and there, and it just happened to be me today.
So is emotion you feel like just getting through it just kind of relief, or?
Yeah, I think I was tired enough on each of those where I'm not even thinking about it in a sense. You're just so tired on the field that just okay, I'm going to shoot this ball in between my legs real quick and get this over with. So yeah, I think that's kind of the feel. I think going in the night of the game though, I do think I kind of run my head through all the scenarios and the plays and then I just think, gosh, I hope Scales or Scott don't get hurt today.
Well, you have really good perspective on the Bears as a guy that grew up in Chicago.
Yeah.
How excited do you think people should be by what Caleb has done the last 3 games?
Yeah, well, so, people can be excited as they want to be. I think what I can say about Caleb, he's taken steps every game, and I think that's been evident. And I'm sure he'll tell you he'll probably want that one throwback that he had to DJ, but I thought besides that did some really amazing stuff. I thought the scramble he had to me was just an unbelievable play, and just how he can create and do those type of things. And then if they're going to play man on us like they did a few of the times and things might be a little covered or muddy downfield, he's able to escape the pocket and get 20, 30 yards on some of those runs. So he's just super dynamic. He's a pass first guy, but he has that ability to run as well, and I think he does a pretty good job of taking care of himself when he does become a runner as well.
Were you watching you play when Scott got hurt? What was your perspective? Did someone tell you, hey, he's not?
Well, yeah, I didn't know he got. HT came up to me and said, hey, Scott's hurt. And I'm like, Tyler Scott's hurt? What? And he's telling me, and I'm like, okay, why does that affect me? He's like, you need to get some snaps in. And I'm like, oh, shit, I got to go snap right now. Yeah, so that's kind of how that went down. And then immediately started firing snaps between my legs, and thankfully didn't have to do any punt scenarios. I'm pretty sure we had that 4th and 4 scenario before Keenan caught that ball. And I was like, this is usually a punt and pin situation, but I'm sure Coach was like, let's try and get the first down here. And that's kind of what happened.
Last one, when you look up and you see just one dude in between you and the end zone, when do you decide, am I going to try to juke and get around him? Am I going to go through him? And
yeah.
What is that like for you out there today?
Yeah, I think for my skill set, it's always trying to run dudes over, and that's kind of how I look at it, and trying to get half a man. remember like Jimmy Graham kind of taught me about that. Like in anything that we do, like whether it's blocking or you're in pass pro or you're running routes, you always want to work on half a man, and that's the same thing when you get the ball in your hands. You know, you take a half of a man on him. You know, he's half his body weight, and now I got my full weight, my full speed going at him, and so I was able to shed him, and I'll probably get docked for reaching the ball out there for the end zone, but there was no way I was getting a sniff fine either. So that worked out well. Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.